Matthew White, Strength and Conditioning Coordinator at Montana Tech. Just putting together a little video demonstrating how we teach the Olympic lifts, progressions, all that. For the first Olympic lift, going to go through the cleans. Typically the clean is taught in a top-down progression. First power position plus counter movement from the floor, catching all three of those high. And then typically after a 2, 3, or 4 week time period, depending on how fast the kids pick it up, we will actually move to catching things high, front squat, counter movement plus front squat, floor plus front squat. Final progression of that will actually be full clean, catch it low in one movement, drive it up. Typically when teaching the Olympic lifts to the freshmen and incoming guys, try to use a dowel as much as possible. Before we get into actually teaching the lifts, typically some things that we go over, talk about the platforms, clear and free of obstructions, talk about some philosophy stuff. Very important thing to remember when Olympic lifting is that the bar does not move around my body, okay? The bar never goes away from my body, okay? My body moves around the bar. As we go and teach these lifts, okay, I'll kind of refer back to that as much as possible. But we like to typically keep the bar as tight as we can in most situations. There are certain situations though where we will change up the technique from that a little bit. After that, okay, typically move to the grip. We teach an Olympic style hook grip and teaching the hang clean. Typically I like to coach from a 45-degree angle so I can see where the kids are at, what their body positions are, if they're hitting triple extension, if they're getting tall, shrugging. All those things are needed to take into consideration to effectively coach this. Off of that, okay, hopefully I got this camera at the right angle. When teaching the clean, again, hand shoulder width apart, hook grip, okay. Off of that, we will take our wrists, we'll actually roll them under. This first position is a power position. This is a hang clean without counter movement. Power position, okay, we will institute a hook grip, roll the wrists under, okay, relax neutral position, okay. Before I let my athletes lift, the first thing we teach is shoulders back, bend the knees, drive up, get as tall as I can, hit triple extension, getting as tall as I can, getting vertical, shrugging at the top. To me, the shrug at the top and getting tall, using those trigger words and coaching cues is more effective for my kids. They don't necessarily know what triple extension means, but getting as tall as I can, shrugging, shrugging, shrugging. Another thing off of this, I'll teach them arms are like ropes. I always talk to the kids about the arms being like ropes. One of the most common mistakes you see in high school kids is that when they shrug the bar up, they will actually try to front raise the bar. Okay? I always talk to the kids, I don't know many people that can take 250, 350 pounds and front raise it. However, any guy in the gym, you can walk in there and they're usually doing the shrugs with a bunch of plates on it. So, using better levers, as long as I keep my arms straight like ropes, okay, shrug with my traps, bar is tight to my body, okay, just lightly steer them, gonna get as tall as I can. Second pull is very important. We always talk about pulling under the bar. Once I'm as vertical as I can, I'm gonna pull under and wedge myself under the bar. Boom. Drop, catch. Obviously with the dowel, can't quite swing through. I'm gonna pull under, elbows will actually come through. I will release the hook grip and usually catch it on 2 fingers. When I get to demonstrating here in a second, it should be a little bit easier to see that. Again, hang clean demonstration, elbows locked out, okay, wrist roll under, shoulders, starting position, okay, shrug back slightly, knees bend, drive up, okay, pull myself under, catch high. After working through the first 2 progressions, power position with no counter movement, power position with a counter movement, I wanted to go straight to the base, like doing all variations of cleans, hang cleans, cleans from the floor, snatch pulls, cleans from the blocks. I think all those variants are really easy to incorporate as long as you teach concepts. Second part of this, okay, from the floor, I teach this a little bit different than most people do. Typically, my starting position, okay, if you're watching videos online, a lot of people have the bar against their shins. To me, I don't necessarily teach this. Okay, I prefer to teach that the bar is actually over the intersection between my toes and my feet. Okay, so there's actually a gap there. The reason that I teach this is that if the bar is against my shins, like everybody talks about, I actually have to execute a double knee bend. Okay, it puts a lot of stress on my back. Then I got to bring it through and shrug. Okay. Michael Conroy, USA Olympic coach, is the one who gave me my certification. He was big on this. This is kind of one of his main teaching points. For the base. Okay, when I'm teaching the base, again, reason that we teach this, okay, is that when I'm in a good position, I have good wrist, elbow, shoulder stacks, bars away from my shins. I sit back. My coaching cue here is hanging onto the cliff. Okay, obviously if I let go here, I'm gonna fall. Okay, this day it usually takes a little bit longer to teach the kids. Hanging position, okay, hanging off the cliff, hanging off for dear life. Gonna pick my butt up slightly. Okay, again, good wrist, elbow, shoulder stacks. And here's the main reason why we teach this stance. Okay, boom, bar goes right to power position. Okay, no double knee bend. Efficient use of my time, of my space. Also off of this can teach snatch pulls. Go straight to the snatch grip. Teach snatch pull off of it. Straight to power position. Overall, more efficient, better use of my time and energy. Okay, next going to demonstrate one full rep of a full Olympic clean. Typically with my guys, I'll have them catch high out of the first positions, power position, counter movement, from the floor, catch high. Theory for that is that we'd rather work front squats as a strengthening lift. But if you want a rep of full clean Olympic style, here it is. Again, coaching cues. Okay, starting from the base, feet shoulder width apart. Okay, gonna get a nice posture. Whereas if I'm jumping, okay, kind of the same thing. Gonna get as tall as I can before I do that. Again, starting position at the base. Okay, wrists, shoulders, elbows, nice stacks. Again, hanging off the cliff. If I let go on the ball, pick my butt up slightly, eyes just focus right out in front of me. Okay, starting from the basic position here. Wrists roll under slightly, drive it up, get as tall as I can, shrugging, pull myself under the bar, create a good shelf, drive it up. Next lift that I'm going to teach you is the Olympic snatch. First thing to know about the snatch, Gary, is that hand clean grip. Typically, my hands are shoulder width apart. Snatch grip, we're actually going to widen them out. Varies athlete to athlete. We'll have our hands, typically with my guys, I try to get them outside the ring on the bar. Again, it varies athlete to athlete. Again, same concepts utilized here. Okay, good wrist, elbow, shoulder stacks. Going to try to keep my arms like ropes. Again, they're tight. Okay, weight pulls them down. They're going to stay tight as long as possible. Stay locked out. Again, right here is a very difficult thing to do with the snatch. Okay, not many guys can take 200 pounds, 300 pounds, and front raise it like this. Again, I need to shrug, get as tall as I can. This bar should lightly scrape my belly button or slightly below it. I should be in this position if I were to take a freeze frame shot. I tell my guys this all the time. This is the cue position or a coaching cue for them. Okay, again, gonna get as tall as I can. Shrug, 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 shrug. Until this bar can't go any higher. Okay, as I reach the apex at the top, I'm gonna pull and drop. Coaching cue on this would be arcing angel. Okay, catch high, come up to the starting position, hold the weight overhead. Again, the bar does not move out from my body. The bar stays close. Things that will help me with this. Okay, wrist curl under, good wrist, elbow, shoulder stacks. Good starting position, shoulders cocked slightly back, knees bent, driving up, shrugging. Okay, again, keeping that bar as tight to my body as possible. Drop, catch under. If you're having athletes that are having trouble understanding the arcing angel concept, one thing that we tell them is get as tall as you can, shrug, 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 shrug. Right as I'm at the top, okay, I'm going to drop, punch the ceiling. Okay, off of that, very important thing to understand is that when I miss a lift, as long as I lock my arms out, I can always push myself away from the bar, or I can dump it out the back and step through. If my arms are ever not locked out, especially in the snatch, okay, if I don't get my elbows locked out, I can never effectively miss a lift. Okay, again, it will come right down on my head. Obviously, that's a no-no. Okay, we want to keep our athletes as safe as possible. One thing that they got to understand is it's okay to drop the weights. It makes a lot of noise, but it keeps them safe. Next lift that I'm going to teach is the split jerk. Easiest way to teach this lift, did it with my guys, freshman incoming. Okay, didn't have much problems with it. Very easy way to teach this lift is actually take out athletic tape, tape off across. Very important thing to remember with this. Again, as long as my arms are locked out, I can always push the bar away in the event of a miss, or I can step through and be completely fine. With this, took the athletic tape, taped it out on the ground, just serves as a barrier, mental referencing point when I'm learning this. Okay, starting position for the split jerk. Okay, elbows will be slightly down, arms will be be slightly wider shoulder apart. Typically the same as my hand clip or hand clean grip. Starting position again, right here, resting on a good shelf. Very important here. Typical concept again, I've talked about it a few times already. Body moves around the bar. The bar does not move around my body. My head will actually go back for a second. Okay, as I press this thing forward, my head will come back forward. Okay, once we've established that, we can actually move to the split jerk. Okay, next progression off of that, worked a few presses. The thing to remember here is that the coaching cue for the split jerk, teaching an effective split jerk, is dip, drive, and drop. Okay, dip, drive, and drop. After I have my cross taped out, elbows pointed slightly down. Okay, I'm going to dip, I'm going to drive, and I'm going to drop. Okay, now the reason that we have this cross taped out on the ground, okay, it serves as a mental reference point. Look down at my feet. Okay, my front foot will be about 1 foot position forward. Okay, my back foot will actually be 1.5. So when I finish, okay, the length of this tape should represent that. Just serves as a mental image for my guys. Work on stabilizing the bar, good balance exercise, stability core, another great thing with Olympic lifts, just works the whole body. Teach this one slightly different than some people do. Front foot, I always have my athletes just cock it in slightly. Instead of point straight ahead, just have it pointed in slightly again. Just helps me balance up, okay, gives me more strength. Once the bar is overhead in the press position, in order to finish this lift, very important to teach this correctly. Front foot back, back foot front, okay, essentially lower the bar down. Okay, last lift that I'm going to demonstrate right here will be the Olympic back squat. A lot of strength coaches around the country utilize the back squat. I teach them both backs, fronts, single leg squats, split squats, rear foot elevated. Like variety in my program. Again, I'm big on variety. But day one, first day the kids show up, till the day they leave, this will be something that they're proficient at. Again, I'm a big believer in squats, cleans, and deadlifts are probably my 3 big ones if I had to pick. When teaching the back squat, again, we want a high bar position. I'm going to teach the bar on traps. I'm going to create a good shelf. Obviously, I'm using the dowel. I'll demonstrate these lifts here in a second. With weight, a little bit difficult without weight. But coaching cues for this, okay, typical lifting postures like I'm standing at attention, okay, I got my back arch in my back, chest big, okay, back slightly arched. The bar will be in a high bar position above my traps. I'll actually, when I'm watching videos, sometimes I'll see kids with their arms out like this, okay, too wide. We try to teach them arms in close, elbows actually screwed down so they're pointing into the floor. As long as I got a good arch in my back, just like I'm standing in the army at attention, elbows screwed down, okay, feet shoulder width apart. Depends on your athletes. A lot of them have different starting positions, different feet, different hip width. Guys typically have less variation than women do as far as their feet go. So you can find out what works for your athletes. But going back to the squat position here, okay, again, high bar position, chest big, back arch. I'm going to take my elbows screwed down again, hands are tight. Another thing I teach with this, okay, is a breathing thing. A lot of times you'll see kids take their deep breath in, okay, and their stomach will actually suck in. Well, I have a narrow base that I'm automatically going to fold over, crumple in half. Okay, typically what we teach with our guys is breathe into your stomach, okay, make that core big, make my base big. I can still maintain my arch in my back, but typically what we'll do is we'll sink, elbows will be down at the bottom, we'll break the bar, over our back, chest big, drive up. Okay, I'll give you guys one rep here so you can see it with weight. Next, I'm going to demonstrate one of each. Hang clean, snatch, split jerk, and squat. No coaching cues, just going to go ahead and do each lift. Demonstration here. Go ahead and watch one of each. Okay, go briefly pause, move on to the next one, reset.